Jethro's Deception, written by Ben-Tzion Spitz, narrated by Jennifer Kahen. That is almost 80,000 judges. Moses stood up from his chair in his tent. I think I would prefer to judge Israel myself than to start selecting so many judges. Moses, my son. Jethro put his hand on Moses' shoulder and gently pushed him back down on his seat. You must desist from thinking in a linear fashion. You must learn to delegate. You simply need to select other strong, trustworthy judges, and they, in turn, will designate the next division of judges, and so on. Trust me. By such a method, you will find all your judges in just a matter of days, as opposed to months or years. I am not sure if this is the way. Moses looked doubtfully at Jethro. God has entrusted me with leadership of the children of Israel. I am certain that if I do not deal with the details myself, there will be misrepresentations and confusion. Listen to me, Moses. Jethro pointed outside the tent. Your people are not angels. They are human beings. They will make mistakes. I presume God allows for that? Yes, he does up to a point, and not without consequences. Moses ran his hand over his long beard. But to judge is a very serious matter. The repercussions of misjudgment can be disastrous. Of course it is serious, Jethro said. That is why you need to choose people of the highest caliber possible, with the level of integrity and honesty that we discussed. But how can we determine if a man is corrupt or not? Moses asked. Most of them have been slaves their entire life. They have rarely had responsibility beyond their immediate work. They haven't encountered ordeals of temptation for personal gain. Ah, Jethro smiled. That is where I might be of use. We shall test them. Test them? How? We shall tempt them. Tempt them? Tempt them with what? Do you mean to mislead them with some sort of deceptive test? I do not know if that would be appropriate. Why, your ancestors' history is filled with deception, Jethro responded. Did not Jacob deceive his father for the blessings? Did not Joseph deceive his brothers and falsely incriminating Benjamin? One thing I know from those stories is that when the need is pressing, they allowed themselves to deceive others for what they felt was of greater good. Do not fear, Moses. I shall try out the method that I have in mind, and we shall see how it proceeds. Next! Jethro called out from within his tent. His assistant opened the tent flap and directed the next person in line to enter. A short, gray-haired man was ushered into the tent by the assistant. He was seated in front of Jethro. A table stood between them. The man sat on the preferred chair, keeping his back straight. Name? Jethro inquired without looking up from the papyrus on the table. Nathaniel, son of Tzuar, the gray-haired man responded. Tribe? Jethro continued to ask as he made notes on the papyrus with his quill. Yisachar. Age? 73, he said with a slight grin, showing his strong white teeth. Jethro's right eyebrow shot up. Are you certain, sir, you do not look older than 50? I am certain. My family has kept exact records. And what was your occupation in Egypt? I was chief assistant to Pharaoh's architect in the Pithom project. I see. And what were your duties? I was responsible for the calculation of all the pyramid measurements, as well as consignment of all materials, stone, mortar, tools, and manpower. I was also ultimately responsible for all the Hebrew slaves on the project. That is a big responsibility, Nathaniel, Jethro approved. Do you know why you have been summoned here? Yes. You are seeking people interested and willing to be judges of Israel. Correct. And do you know who I am? You are Jethro, father-in-law of our teacher Moses and high priest of Midian. I am much more than that. Jethro tugged on his garment lapels and raised his head higher. I have been advisor to pharaohs. I have been a king-maker and have enabled noblemen to gain great wealth and power. Are you interested in wealth and power, Nathaniel? No, my lord. Nathaniel looked down with some embarrassment. I was blessed with great wealth that was bestowed upon me by my former masters, and I do not seek power over my brothers. I have had enough of that." "Yet you seek to judge them," Jethro responded. "You think you have the competence to determine who is wrong and who is right. You will also have the power to raise the rich and lower the poor, or to reward a friend and punish an enemy." "That is not my intention," Nathanael replied, unruffled. "I appreciate Moses' need for more judges, and I believe I have the experience and skills to assist in this matter. I do not seek riches or glory." Jethro nodded imperceptibly in approval. "Good. Now we want to test your judicial instincts. We have prepared a trial for you to judge." "Call in the plaintiffs," Jethro instructed his assistant. 2 younger men entered, looking tired and agitated. "Gentlemen," Jethro addressed them, "this is Nathanael, son of Tzuar. He shall judge your case. Please address your complaints to him. I am merely an observer." The taller man, scraggly-looking and sunburned, addressed Nathanael. "Your Honor, my name is Pera'el, son of Chamri, from the tribe of Simeon. I was tending my small flock of 8 sheep, he explained, looking at his dirt-encrusted fingernails, when I noticed this ruffian approaching me with his larger flock. I warned him to keep his distance, but he approached. As he passed, he made sure to take 2 of my precious sheep with him." "I protest," the second plump, balding man declared. "I, Your Honor, am Taluah, son of Nardi, from the tribe of Reuben. I am but a simple merchant and do not know what this poor shepherd is harping on about." "All I know is," Pera'el started yelling, "is that I used to have 8 sheep. After you passed by my flock, I was left with 6. "Perhaps you need to work on your shepherding skills," Taluah responded. "Your Honor, may I speak with you privately for a moment?" Taluah approached the seated Nathanael. "This seems highly irregular, but if you must," Nathanael responded, looking at both plaintiffs through narrowed eyes. "Your Honor," Taluah whispered, "the young man's brain is obviously addled from the sun. I am a busy merchant and do not have the time for this, nor can I afford the expense of such complications. I will gladly donate to you the value of half a sheep, if you will quickly rule in my favor." "What?" Nathanael shot up, knocking his chair backwards. "How dare you even suggest such a notion?" He looked at Taluah in disgust. "I cannot believe that you would openly and brazenly attempt to bribe a judge." Trying to hide a smile, Taluah took a step back. "But wait! There is more to this than meets the eye," Nathanael accused Taluah. He then turned towards Pera'el. "You, Pera'el, you have never tended sheep in your life. Your mud-cake fingers do not have a thread of wool on them. This is all a ruse. You are nothing but actors." He finally turned to face Jethro. "Calm yourself, Nathanael," Jethro urged with a smile, putting his arm out. "Sit down, and I will explain everything." Nathanael did not move. "Please sit down, Nathanael," Jethro repeated. "This was a necessary deception, which I will now explain." Nathanael righted the chair and sat down facing Jethro. "Nathanael," Jethro started, "how does one select a judge? How does one test for corruption?" Nathanael's features started to soften. "You tempt them," Nathanael answered, nodding in comprehension. "Exactly," Jethro replied. "Our judges must not be easily corrupted. A position of power can often be accompanied by overwhelming temptations. We need men that can resist such entrapments as you just did. And you too must test other judges that will serve under you and report to you." "But this is a terrible ruse," Nathanael said, looking at Taluah and Pera'el. "If you can suggest a better way, we will be happy to consider it," Jethro answered. "But the reputation is not enough. The slaves of yesterday have entered the freedom of today. We have already seen how their behavior is changing. Not everyone has fully submitted themselves to the will of God and the leadership of Moses. I expect there will be many challenges and difficulties ahead for the children of Israel, and Moses will need a cadre of honorable judges to help him. It is indeed ironic that to find men of truth, we must test them with a lie. Your forefather Jacob was also enmeshed in deception throughout his life, yet he has ultimately come to signify God's attribute of truth." Nathanael stood up. Your wisdom is truly humbling, my lord. I apologize for my outburst. Do not apologize, Nathanael, Jethro answered reassuringly. Your reaction was exactly correct. A true judge should be outraged by even a hint of bribery. I am more troubled by those that hesitate or even consider such a course. I understand the necessity for the lie, Nathanael said, but I do not like it. With your permission, I would like to devise an alternative way to test our judges. That would be a comfort for me, Jethro answered. I too question whether this insidious approach is worth the price, but God has not revealed another method. I have come as a mortal guide and advisor, and so far I believe I have been correct. In the meantime, Nathanael, Jethro stood up and placed both hands on each of Nathanael's shoulders. I hereby name thee, Nathanael, son of Tzuar, from the tribe of Yisachar, as a judge of Israel. Go to the tent of Moses, and he shall confirm this nomination. You shall be judge of 1,000. It is now your responsibility to appoint 10 judges of 100 each. They, in turn, will appoint judges of 50, and they judges of 10. Any case that is too difficult shall be brought to the next highest judge. The most difficult cases shall be brought to Moses. Now go in peace, be successful, and judge with justice. Yes, Jethro. Nathanael bowed and stepped out of the tent. Jethro sat back down. Pera'el and Telias approached him. This is a painful process, Telias commented. Yes, but necessary, Jethro responded. This is not the first time Israel or God have used circumventive methods. The children of Israel told Pharaoh that they wanted to worship God in the desert, but it was merely a pretense for their escape. And borrowing the gold and silver from the Egyptians was not with any intention of returning it. True, Telias responded. But those deceptions were performed with direct command of God. Now I am less certain. God also allows you to spread your wings and show self-determination, Jethro countered. I do not believe he wishes to minutely manage Israel's people. Is that not why you have free will? Perhaps, Telias answered pensively. Perhaps. Well, we do not have all day to philosophize, Jethro concluded. There is work to be done. Go wait outside the other entryway while I invite the next candidate. Telias and Pera'el quickly stepped out of the tent. Next, Jethro called out. This has been Jethro's Deception, written by Ben-Tzion Spitz and narrated by Jennifer Kahen.